r/AskMen. Well Frenzy says. So man of Reddit. What is your opinion about this? Most men say opening up your feeling in front of women is like bleeding in front of a shark. I've seen a lot of men saying that the last years, especially in social media and in real life. In some ways I believe that this can be true because I've seen women making fun and calling men weak when they show feelings. But what is your experience to this as a man yourself? K0H says. What I have seen the vast majority of the time man opens up about his feelings. Woman doesn't really know how to support or help, so that tries to relate by talking about her own experiences. Man tries to open up more. Woman starts to do the same, then gets upset that man isn't supporting her, despite it starting as him needing support and help. Man realizes this, shuts down, tries to help her to de-escalate the situation, remembers how this happened, and never tries again. I can say that with the exception of one woman, the times I have opened up to a woman in my life, they all ended up using that against me later. You eventually just learn it's a toxic thing to do, and you don't do it anymore. Bouncing Big says. Damn dog, that is spot on with my GF and I. Just happened last night. I had some military related PTSD episodes, and it resulted in her talking about her own experiences and then getting upset that I wasn't truly listening to her. I think my heart rate was still 150 to 160 while she was trying to vent to me, and it was one of the hardest things to try and be calm and focused on her. Like, why would I talk to you about anything when it's going to end up with more conflict? Trail Jump says. Yep, my last GF who was open and understanding and wanted me to feel like I could tell her anything pulled one like that on me. I'm in law enforcement, and I had just been first on scene for a shooting/murder of a guy I knew's son. First it went from "are you okay" to "I know how bad trauma can be." One time I had this really rude customer. Then when I got upset she got upset and started crying, so now I had two problems to deal with. A few days later she wanted to know why I was acting weird, and I said I was still dealing with the murder, and I got "really, you're still on that?" from her. At best they try, then get upset, and you have to calm them down while you're freaking out. And at worst they use it against you. Neza19 says. The only woman that did not make me regret opening up was my wife. All other women did. Men went always easy on me because they usually feel the same, so they understood my pain. But I also only open up to a select NR of people. Will Be Near says. I think it is important to say that, although it is true that you can get unlucky with opening up to a woman and having it used against you, but your objective shouldn't be to never open up to a woman because of bad experiences. It should be to find a woman that will let you open up and won't use it against you. Neza19 says. For sure, there are bad apples everywhere, just like you can find men that you should not open up to. But all my exes gave me a bad experience, big part of why they are exes, and that is why I married the one that was amazing and never made me regret anything I did or say. Metalhead Jake 942 says. Kinda proves the "it's only men who shame other men for opening up" logic is wrong. I know for some it's hard to come to terms with, but some, not all, women are just as nasty, selfish, toxic, abusive, and mean-spirited as some, not all, men. Women aren't levating above men morally. It comes down to individuals, and yeah, the men saying this have obviously had negative experiences with said nasty and toxic women. Doesn't mean all women are like that. It means the men talking about those experiences are addressing the individual women they have met personally. Weirdly enough, in my experience, the vast majority of people, both sexes, have been nothing but supportive and caring for me. But I know I'm just one guy and this isn't true for other men. A dude with a book says. This, most people forget one thing in general, that some people can be ASSHOLES regardless of their gender. Electrical Media 367 says, if you share your emotions with other men, they will listen, give you some helpful advice, and probably not bring it up again, unless you bring it back up. Maybe they'll ask how things are going later on. But you can assume it will never be used to attack you in the future. If you share emotions with women, they might be supportive, but not helpful, in the moment, but they will always use what you said to try to hurt you later on. It will come back up, when you least expect it, as a tool to destroy your confidence, or to kick you when you're down. r/AskMen. Proper Sprinkles 586 says, what does effort from women look like into a date or a relationship? I often see women complain about men not putting an effort into a relationship. Usually this revolves around planning dates and fun things to do. It also refers to men not putting effort into their appearance, or not remembering the birthdays of distant relatives, or buying presents, or remembering little things they said. That said, I tried to think about what a woman putting effort in would look like, and I was coming up blank. Now I don't have any dating experience, so I don't have any personal experience to draw from, so I figured I'd ask other men. What does a woman putting effort into a date, dating, or relationship look like? Also, what kind of effort would you like to see from more women? Just for Facts 6969 says, just showing appreciation would be 10x more than most do. Leafy says, taking initiative would be nice. Knowing where she wants to go, or what she wants to do on the date. Making an earnest attempt to pay for her share of the date. Putting the phone away and actually being present with me. Burkantinosa says, they are active and making plans with you. They think of reasons to hang out with you and have no rush to stop. When they cancel plans, they make efforts to reschedule and provide reasonable explanations they are present when they are with you. Nobody is on their phone, they listen to you and strive to remember what you like and dislike. You mention once in passing that you like some random band, and weeks later they bring them up and offer to listen to them with you. They remember how you like your salmon cooked, and they buy you purple things because it's your favorite color. They take accountability and aren't afraid to alter their behavior so the relationship can prosper. They call you out when you aren't doing your part. They care for you, are your biggest supporter, and want you to thrive. They offer their shoulder when you return from a nightmare day at work. They validate your emotions and make you feel heard. They aren't afraid to tell you harsh truths for your benefit. They're on your side anytime a relationship problem arises. It's you two versus the problem. They go the extra mile to make you feel loved and appreciated and supported. They find novel ways to tell you how handsome you are, and they look forward to smacking your ass as they walk past you. They're your biggest hype man and think as highly of you as anyone. They brag about you to anyone who will listen. They make you feel desired. They surprise you by answering the door wearing lingerie, frick your brains out, then give you a gentle kiss on the cheek as you lay in euphoria. It's very hard to find the kind of person I've described, but they are out there. And once you meet them, you'll recognize immediately how special they are, and it will inspire you to give them everything you've got in return. You deserve someone like this, so don't settle for. Sudashintist 500 says, communication with maturity. If I make a mistake or do something annoying, tell me like you would want to be told if the situation was reversed. But don't talk down to me like I'm an idiot that should just know better. Noshelter 5922 says, for my birthday, the girl I had been exclusive with for 3 months planned a weekend away, booked a bed and breakfast, dinners, wine tasting, and paid for everything. At the end of that weekend, all I thought was, I hope she doesn't break up with me, because if we are still together 2 to 3 years from now, I'm proposing we are getting married this June. Louis Litt Esquire says, my wife was looking to get laid, saw me, was attracted, and then emailed me a couple weeks later for a date. She set up the date entirely. I just had to show up. Next date was on me. As far as effort, we live 100 miles apart, and we've never missed a weekend together. Both of us are willing to put that effort in. We've only had 2 fights in 6 years, both of which were based on her jealousy/insecurity. She took accountability for that, and did a good bit of self-therapy. I'd say she puts in more effort in general, because being busy makes her happy and helps her mental health. I'm the opposite. I like having no commitments/obligations. Superposition says, even if you do all that, some women will still find something to complain about. Today my girlfriend said you are too observant, and you plan everything precisely. It make me feel like you could easily be a psychopath. How the hell do you respond to that? r/AskMen. Maleficent Problem 70 says, how to be more dominant as a woman in the bedroom. I 21 female, am relatively sexually inexperienced. I've had a handful of one-night stands, but the only long-term boyfriend I've had was long distance, so I haven't had a lot of sex. Most guys I've been with tend to be more dominant in bed, and I feel like there are standard okay things that many women like: spanking, choking, holding their hands down, etc. Recently I had sex with a guy who wanted me on top, and I played into it a little bit and held his hands above his head and very lightly choked him, but I want to know what actions more submissive men are into. In a switch, so both positions for me are fun, but I don't know what is hot or not for submissive guys. I'm looking for specific actions to employ. Florida 1693 says, ask what they want and communicate if you are open to new things. Natural Riquette Surgeon says, have you ever wondered how few posts there would be on this entire website if people just simply communicated with their partners? Reddit probably wouldn't exist. Madshadal85 says, ride his face. On Rappel says, enthusiasm. Live at age 2259 says, watch all of Yellowstone. When the time is right, get yourself a 5-gallon hat, a pair of boots, and let your inner Beth Dutton run wild. Naraxima says, there are 2 kinds of submissive men. Those who are masochistic and those who want to be treated with a lot of care. Depending on how kinky they are, it's the same as with submissive women, with a focus on teasing and overpowering their genitals with your hand, and especially fingering their anus to find their G-spot. Also riding their face, or forcing them to eat you out. Hardcore masochists want CBT too. The second kind of submissive is basically mommydom, that includes a lot of praising, being careful, reassurance, and doing everything for them. Both kinds love being praised, especially when you say good boy in a deep mommy voice. Definitely Dave says, just go for it, unless he explicitly says no. Just totally surprise him in the you are going to frick me right now sense. Rip his pants off, don't let him get up, suck it and ride it, and playfully slap him around. Of course check with him beforehand to see if he has any other ideas, or is okay with it. 7 Evencicles says, from Cowgirl there are a couple things you can do: climb onto his face and rock your hips against his tongue while you grab and hold his hair, put both hands one over the other and press them against his chest and really put your weight onto him. Sit back and turn all of the thrusts horizontal by rocking your hips while sitting up straight and arching your spine slightly back. Dominant posture. Play with yourself while you frick him and then give him your fingers to suck on. Also, is he submissive, or does he just like cowgirl? Lol, there are different general categories that sexual submissiveness manifests itself in men, and each have different things you can play into. I could list some if you like. Western Bad 667 says, start with I want you to lie back cause I'm gonna run the show tonight, and see how that goes. Front Farmer 345 says, learn how to apply rope safely, learn where not to apply pressure around the neck, and always it's okay for all to say no. Asking candidly what the other person needs is also great. Sayonara says, best bet is to start before you get in bed. Grab your guy by his belt and pull him into you. Kiss him while giving his hair a slight tug. And when he realizes you're in the mood, lead him to bed, then push him on the mattress. From there, pin him. Tell him not to move, because patience is key. Then tease him until he's begging. Or, ask him what he's into, since he might be better at setting a scene than I'm lol. Ilding Dong 2 says, why don't you just behave how you want to behave? Experiment if you have an idea that turns you on. Communicate with your partner if it's something that might be surprising or uncomfortable. You should expect the same of your partner. Vegetable Mall 2329 says, there is no blanket statement that will cover men or women. Each individual wants/likes different things, and you need to communicate what you'd like to do and if they would be comfortable with that. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.